Welcome back. This is the Playbook, your favorite show focused on girls and women in sports. Once again, I am Candace. This is Kay. Please follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, as well as our website, girlsonlysportsnetwork.com. We got a quick show for you today. Again, let me say, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We love the interaction. Gotta throw that in. Whoop, 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 whoop. But we're gonna start off really quick with a full court press. NWSL just started. It's early in the season, and it's kind of like there's a line between teams that are playing extraordinarily well and then everybody else. So who are in our power rankings this week?
I think remaining at the top, Orlando, Kansas City. I still have them both still undefeated. I think Orlando set the record as the first team in NWSL history with a +10 goal difference in the first 4 games. Again, both of those teams just keeping on the momentum they had last year. Can't stop
Orlando
scoring.
looking for the repeat.
Yeah, looking for the repeat. They have the best scorers in the league, it looks like right now. So they remain top 2 for me. Angel City, I don't know what it is about this Angel City team this year. That attacking line, that front youth, everything. Alyssa Thompson, it all looks good to me. I have them ranked 3. I don't know if anybody else would agree with me. I think the back line needs a little work, a little midfield. There's things that they definitely need to work on, but
you mentioned Alyssa Thomas real quick. She does have, I think I saw it, 10 goals and 10 assists, something crazy like that.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what Alyssa can do with the rest of this season, because I don't know what she was doing in the off season, but girlie put in some work.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a space on that U.S. Women's National Team, so I got to put in the effort during the NWSL season.
That part. And then finally, I got Washington and Gotham. We did get to see Washington play over the weekend, so that was exciting. Woo-hoo. Good times. Shout out to them. I do have them, I think. Again, Washington, never really count them out. They are a team that is dealing with some injuries, have people going out, and then still trying to get Corey Bethune back in the mix. But still early in the season, so I'm looking forward to what they can do. And as far as Gotham, they look good this weekend. They look good. I think Esther playing up top and just being able to be a goal scorer that she is, she looked good. Mitch Purse was back. She's so back, and that's very exciting. 385 days since her ACL injury.
We don't want to hear that word anymore.
Left. I know. Not with her, because she was in such good form when she went down. So to see her back and nutmegging people within minutes of being back on the pitch was satisfying. And that's my TED Talk.
But this is just how it's going to be while we start off the NWSL season. Everybody has to kind of figure themselves out, and then probably by mid-season we'll get to see, or whenever they have their international break, we get to see who's the cream of the crop, because it's still very early. And again, shout out to Racing Louisville. We were able to go down and see the game, and all the hospitality, we got to cover it. So please, again, look at our socials, Girls Only Sports, everywhere on all social medias. You can see some photos, some pictures. Kate in Frame, shout out.
Yes, go follow the new Instagram.
But it was a great experience, and we hope to be back. Keeping in line with soccer, NWSL obviously is the American-based soccer league that we follow. However, there is always that international flavor that always happened and is going on, and got really big matchups this weekend. The Champions League Semifinals, Barcelona versus Chelsea, and then Lyon versus Arsenal. I need another TED Talk.
You need another TED Talk. I got you. Don't even worry about this one. The Barcelona-Chelsea, I think everybody's anticipating that rematch from last year. I'm trying not to be a little homer, because I love me some Barcelona. But
you gotta not be on the bandwagon. This is impartial.
Listen, I'm impartial, but I still think Barcelona is going to have the leg up on Chelsea. Wouldn't be surprised if, again, Chelsea pulls out a win on them. But you can't. It's hard to beat Barcelona twice. You have to play 2 games in the Champions League semifinals, 1 away and 1 home. So I just don't see you beating Barcelona twice. And the way they can score goals, again, Chelsea can score goals as well. not knocking them there. Both, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be pretty evenly matched for this one. But I'm always get an edge to Barcelona because it's just something about Barcelona you can't beating them twice. Listen, beating them twice is going to be a hard climb every time for Chelsea. And then as far as the Lyon and Arsenal matchup, I think that one again, it can go either way. I think I'm gonna give the edge to Lyon on this one over Arsenal, even though Arsenal looks like they are in incredible form, scoring goals at a high level right now. So I think they'll give Lyon a fight. But something about them Champions League lights.
They fold.
I don't know. Arsenal don't. Arsenal don't always show up. So, I'm gonna go with Lyon. Their experience. I think that experience in the Champions League does benefit you. So I'm gonna give the edge to Lyon in that one, and we're gonna have a Lyon Barcelona final.
And we're not even gonna ask you who you're voting for because we know the impartial. We already know it's Barcelona. So what?
In my impartial opinion, is
whatever.
Barcelona.
Whatever. But that's the Champions League semifinals that will be happening this weekend. So everybody stay tuned and tune in to see what's going on in Champions League soccer. We did cover the WNBA draft. We're gonna full court press ahead to the WNBA. Their draft was on Monday, and as we all know, Paige Beckers was the number one pick. But we really quick wanted to just go through top grades. So we're only going to go with A. It's like which team aced. Not talking about the aces. But who do we give an A to win the draft? And some of those teams that I'm going to put at you, so we're going to take off, some teams that didn't have high picks, things like that. So I'm going to give these teams to you to pick who got an A. The Dallas Wings, who selected Paige Beckers, Isaiah James from NC State, Madison Scott from Ole Miss. And then there was the Washington Mystics, Sonia Citron from Notre Dame, Kiki Iriafen from USC, Georgia Amore from Kentucky. I'm going to go down to Seattle with Dominique Malunga from France, and then Serena Sundel from Kansas State. Chicago Sky, Haley Van Liv, Maddie Westbeld. And then I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to give you one more. Connecticut, Anissa Morrow, Sanaya Rivers, Rihanna Marshall from USC. So out of those teams, the Dallas Wings, Connecticut Sun, Washington Mystics, Seattle Storm, and the Chicago Sky, who got an A+?
Who? Just one team or any of them?
Any of them.
Okay. I'd say definitely Dallas. I would give it A. I think they it's hard to not put everything else into consideration, but even just in the draft, I think I'll definitely give Dallas an A. They added a huge piece with Paige, and then also getting a lot of other. We didn't mention her last night on our draft show, but Madison Scott, I think she'll fit in really good there if she's able to make that roster. So I'm excited to see what the draft picks, who from their draft picks end up getting on the team and making some moves for Dallas. So I would give Dallas an A. I'm going to give Washington an A just for the simple fact they had so much.
They got so many gaps to fill.
Yeah. So they had they picked top talent. They picked what they needed. And I think, again, able to work and make that roster. 3 of them are looking like starters, like potentially be starting in their rookie year and playing a huge part in that team. So I'm definitely giving Washington an A. Who else? Chicago, I want to give it A. It might be a low A, high B for me, but I think Chicago picking up Haley Van Liff was a great pick, and I think she's going to do really well there. So those will be the 3 that I'm going to give my A's to. What about you?
You know what?
Anybody that I missed?
No, I don't think you missed anybody. And just going through all the teams quickly, and we kind of did it on our draft show yesterday, but I think the Dallas Wings aced it. If there was one team that I would give an A+ to or an A to, was the Dallas Wings, because they have been a contender, lost in the playoffs for the first time for like 5 years, and they needed to build around Arike Gumbawale, who's in her prime. They made moves to get Dejanay Carrington, Alyssa Smith, Ty Harris. So they're building a contender, and they had some uh, role players to fill. They shipped out, I believe, Kalani Brown, who's signed to Phoenix. So there is space. Now, Natasha Howard is in Indiana. So with these draft picks, obviously, Paige being at the top of it, they feel so much. You know what I mean? And you kind of said it all. With Paige, you get a playmaker. Isaiah James, you get a scorer. Madison Scott, you get a taller, lengthier defender, do everything forward. And if those three are able to make that team, they just look like a team full of hoopers. You know what I mean?
Depth, yeah.
You
need a bench, and you need a bench. Bench wins titles.
For sure. But for anybody watching this segment, this is just grading the draft. We are not breaking down each of these teams with who's going to make the final rosters, because as you know, everybody knows who follows the WNBA. Do not be surprised when a lot of these players don't make the team. I know one of the big names that didn't get called last night was Deja Kelly, who was at North Carolina and went to Oregon, didn't get selected during the draft. Sedona Prince, obviously, who had a lot of allegations against her too. Everybody was speculating whether or not she was going to get picked up. She didn't get drafted. But, you know, there are other players who, you know, they get their moment of congratulations, but there are only 12 spots, and I believe there's only...
Still got to fight for it.
Right. And how many teams? Is it like 13 now? So good luck to all the players. We'll do our review of each team and what we think they're going to do during the season when it gets to that time. But for me, I just think Dallas aced the draft last night. Agreed. That's the only A I'm giving out. I think Connecticut and
that's
Washington,
the only A.
That's the only A. I just think they have... The draft is good, but you're drafting rookies into a league that has the best players in the world. And... you know, I'm not too much of building for the future. I'm looking at teams who drafted to win now.
Fair.
Yeah. So, we're going to move right along. We're going to do a She Did That of the best dressed of the WNBA draft. We did a little bit of this last year because, you know, we had... Rakia Jackson, I think, had 3 wardrobe changes.
You love an outfit switch.
Caitlin came in Prada. Angel Reese showed up with a hood on. So we have to shout out who we think our best dress is. I'm going to just say mine real quick. No competition this year's draft. Kiki Iriafen. 8.
Left no crumbs. Yes.
She stands alone.
Yes, queen.
Yes. Stands alone. Like, ma'am.
Oh my God. I sent it to my sister. She don't even watch basketball. I said, girl, look at this outfit. Get into this outfit.
Listen. One, she knew she was going to be drafted high. 2, she said, listen, I'm getting my moment. And she won her bold cover in wardrobe too. She wins it for me.
And she deserves it. Yeah, she definitely wins it.
Dress, hair, makeup, the whole thing. Kiki Iriafen wins best dress because she did that. I liked, you know, a couple of other players had some really unique looks. Too, obviously, Paige Beckers gave her suit swag. I don't know what she had in that big purse, but I'm not a fashion girly, so I can't judge.
I like the second one better. I like Paige's second outfit better.
Oh, that's right. Where she walked up. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I like that one better.
Georgia Amore was dressed by Russell Westbrook, so that was a nice collaboration between the two of them. I thought Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers they added a different... swag to it.
Little swag. Yeah.
I will say the tape to keep everything together was overworking.
Right. Working hard.
It was working hard. But, you know, I think one of the things that I do appreciate, at least for me, who's been around the WNBA and been a fan a long time, we remember the business casual suits. A lot of the players.
Macy's catalog.
Yeah. It's giving JCPenney's. Right. They have so much, you know, they have elevated so much of their fashion sense, and a lot of them have taken their own personal brands to kind of self-express how they want to look, how they want to dress. And each of them, it's just not one thing. It's, you know, you can be feminine, you can be both, you can be masculine, you can be however, it just fits your style. And I think so many other players have really nice looks to them. Madison Scott as well. I thought her suit was just tailored really well. The fit, everything. Yeah. So shout out to the WNBA. But I'm sorry, Kiki Iriafen takes the cake.
No competition.
No competition this year. And then for our X's and O's segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the news that kind of everybody was expecting, but probably didn't expect if it would actually happen. And that was Malaysia Fulwiley actually entering the transfer portal. She's the star guard from the University of South Carolina. South Carolina born and raised. I think her high school is like 10 minutes away from Colonial Life Arena as well, but she's into the portal. She does have a do not contact tag on her right now, so we'll see what that means and where she ends up going. But one, I'm gonna try not to go on my own TikTok. What did you think about her entering the portal? What are your feelings about it? Just, break it down for a little bit for me of what you feel of her decision.
I wish I could say I was a bit more surprised at her entering the portal. It was shocking. It was shocking just because you don't leave a program like South Carolina. However, something in that national championship game, I think maybe it was just the way Don basically was like, sit down.
Yeah.
I think something in that moment made me feel possibly a portal was coming for Malaysia. I don't know. I don't think maybe she just didn't fully buy into the earning your spot, give it some time.
Yeah.
And she wants it right now, and I think that's fair for her to want it right now. But also, you're in a program like South Carolina, and you were getting minutes. And the thing with Malaysia for me is, you still people know who you are, regardless if you're not a starter, regardless if you're not a star. Like, your name is known just for basically being at that program and making the impact you did coming off the bench. So I don't like that she left. I would have liked to see her stay at South Carolina. I think she could have grown a lot at South Carolina, especially under Don in that program. But I wish her the best, and we'll see where she ends up.
Right.
What can happen? But
yeah, I'm with you.
Shocking.
I'm a bit of the same. I think that it's been a push and pull with Malaysia the last 2 seasons. But you got some leeway when you're a freshman, following the coach's decision. But I think when you make a decision as a player to go to a South Carolina, to go to a UConn, to go to a LSU, to go to, when Tara Vanderveer was at Stanford, when Muffet McGraw was at Notre Dame, you're buying into a program, and you're going to fit inside that program and all that comes with it. And I think for me, I'm just trying to understand in this new era of NIL and transfer portal, and then obviously the opportunity to, play more minutes, be a starter, that whole thing. But it's like, she doesn't owe anybody an explanation, and I don't want to put that on a collegiate player. But I guess what I'm battling with is what is it that she's seeking that she's not necessarily getting at South Carolina? Because you've been to 2 national championship games in 2 years. Your freshman and sophomore year, you played in 2 national championship games. Your first one, you guys went undefeated. And it's like, you're not going to find that type of success at any other program. 2, why wouldn't you want to compete against the best? Why wouldn't you, if anybody's respect or earn or keep you want to get, I would think it would be Dawn Staley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's steering you wrong, and it does appear to me that she has a higher expectation for Malaysia, but there's a reason for it. She has a higher expectation for Asia. She had a higher expectation for Aaliyah Boston. She had a higher expectation for Camila Cardoso. I can remember times last year where Dawn Staley would legit be like, if Camila would be dominant, we would win. You know what I mean? But if she's not going to be dominant, it's going to be difficult. When coaches are on you really, really hard, that means their expectations of you are so much higher. We saw it with Gino and Paige Beckers. He was literally like, well, she's not
She dropped
shooting the
40
ball,
and he's
right?
like, well, she
And
missed the free throws.
right. And he was like, in that third quarter, he was like, well, if she's not gonna shoot the ball, I don't know what we're gonna do. And then in the fourth quarter, she ain't missed a shot and got 40.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wherever you go, and a coach who wants you to succeed is going to be just as hard on you as Don Staley was. And it's just like that program, the success, the coach, all of it. Why wouldn't you want to compete inside of it? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to stay and challenge Raven Johnson for that starting spot? Why wouldn't you want to stay and challenge Tanaya Latson for that starting spot? Chessa Johnson, Mouse. Like, I would think you want to compete against them to say, listen, all right, Coach Staley, you've been on me for 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. One of them spots is mine. And it's just like, right. I'm just grappling about what do these new players want. But like you, I think I saw in that championship game when she came in, she wasn't locked in like Don Staley needed her to be, and she yanked her, and you could just tell, like, yeah. And then Raven Johnson came back, and then it was like, then Tanaya got signed, and it was like, oh, this is going to be exponentially harder going into your junior year. So let me get off my soapbox. I wish Malaysia the best. I hope she stays, but at the same time, I hope that, you know, these players understand, and maybe it's a life thing too that we can all take lesson on, is it's going to get tough. And, you know, we're not going to get, we may think we've earned this and earned that. Sometimes we just got to work a bit harder to get what we want, especially in this circumstance with a coach like Don Staley and that program. She's not steering you wrong. But before we leave this topic, I'm going to throw a question out there to you. Where do you want her to go? I got one program and one coach where I'm like, if you don't go here, Malaysia, just stay at South Carolina. But
really, I don't have.
You don't have one. I got one. Nah. If Malaysia ain't in an Ole Miss uniform with Coach Yo.
Yeah, Coach Yo said, no, that ain't happening.
That's what she said. No, Coach Yo, I need you to open up them alumni down there at Ole Miss. I know they be getting funds for the football team. I need you to break the bank to get Malaysia Wiley over there at Ole Miss. The other team that I thought about, where if there was a team where she could have the freedom to be her, is LSU. But if you think
I don't know.
Don Staley was hard on you,
right?
Kim Mulkey gonna leave you out there. Yeah. She ain't gonna yank you if you ain't locked in. She gonna leave you out there and teach you a lesson that way. So you get to be all that you want, the biggest star. But, you know, if you can't do with Coach Staley, you want to go down there and do with Coach Mulkey. But please, Coach Yo at Ole Miss, please give Malaysia a call, because I would love to see her on that team. But that is our show. Hopefully we don't get any more portal news. But once again, this is The Playbook. Please follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, our website, girlsonlysportsnetwork.com. Like, comment, subscribe. I am Candace. This is Kay, and this is Girls Only Sports.